All right, so we're starting with Angelina's image, and we're at ISO 100, 35 millimeters, f4.5 at 1/50th of a second, so those settings all look good. That 1/50th of a second, if he was moving fast, might be problematic, but he's posing for you, so there's no issue there. You're photographing at your store's grand opening, your store's late grand opening, where you have a lot of vendors there and people coming in trying to sell their food. So this guy is not just posing for this image, he's kind of in his character and his role as, I would assume, the owner of this shop or an invested employee in this shop. And he's wearing the shirt, and we see it down below and we see it in the background. So it really comes together, and I think this can work really well to be more of a character portrait than just a random stranger. I think giving the individual something that they can be telling about themselves, where it's not just about them and their insecurities, but they're selling their business, can work really well. So I think you did a nice job with that. The lighting, you can see, is brighter on like his stomach than it is on his face, probably because he's wearing a hat, right? So the light's coming in around the covering of the tent, and his face is a little bit darker. So bringing in a reflector would work really great here. If he would take off his hat, probably not, but that could work really well here. If the sun was right above the tent and it's a white tent, that could be beautiful soft light too, just as you would have with window light. So I actually think these tents can be really useful for photographing. But just be aware of where the light's pointing. Let's make sure that's it in all of the images. Yeah, you only have a few images here. Sound like you were just on a break and you wanted to capture something, and this was a comfortable situation for you. So I'm glad you captured a few of these images. These actually all look pretty similar. We can see a little bit of a change in his expression. These images where you're getting a little bit closer to the edge, I don't think work as well. That creates some tension, or having too much space above him. I think the amount of space you have above him here works. So I think this is your best image. And then we'll look here, and this is Christian's image. You're at ISO 400, 18 millimeters, f3.5, and 1/60th of a second. So I'm pretty impressed that you were able to keep your ISO so low and capture this at 1/60th of a second. We don't have any issue with camera shake or anything happening. Maybe there's large windows on the side of you that are illuminating him, but this is a pretty dark area, but you were able to capture it. I know your aperture is wide open, but at 1/60th of a second, so that's great to see. This is also similar to what we were just looking with Angelina's image, more of a character portrait, where it's not just this individual sitting out on the bench in front of a coffee shop. We're learning about him, and this is his business, and he probably takes a lot of pride in his business. So we have him with the different coffees and Vietnamese sandwiches and whatnot at the top. We see the sandwiches on the side. We see him behind the cash register. But what I really appreciate about this are all of the pictures over here that his daughter painted or drew. And you had mentioned that his daughter is sitting in the coffee shop every day that you go in and working on her homework. So this is really a family business. And I think incorporating that into the image kind of softens it a little bit, and that's really nice. Having him look away from the camera, I don't think works as well here. I think if he could be engaging the camera, that would work better for this image. Not that that needs to happen all of the time, but when he's like engaging someone else, it feels like we're missing something. If we're looking here, yeah, it looks like in general he's looking away, except for a couple of these on the top. So I don't know, maybe he was looking at his wife that you said was complimenting him, but having him engage the camera for this image I think would work better. He looks so happy. We can see that he's smiling even with his mask on, so just getting that eye contact, and maybe if there's windows behind you, you'd get a little bit of catch light in his eye as well.